Alright, so we're going to do these notes on rotations, and remember rotation is a term within the coordinate plane. So first I just want to get some reminders about the coordinate plane. Remember the coordinate plane is broken up into 4 quadrants, and if you draw a C in there for a coordinate plane, you'll get where each of the 4 quadrants go and in which order. Alright, so drawing the correct C will let you know that you start in the quadrant 1, then where the direction of the quadrant is going. If you know that quadrant 1, if there's a point in quadrant 1, the x coordinates are positive and the y coordinates are positive. So here's your x, y. And then in quadrant 2, your x coordinates are negative, but your y coordinates are positive. In quadrant 3, both your x and y are negative. And in quadrant 4, your x coordinate is positive and your y coordinate is negative. So let's keep that in mind. Alright, so we start talking about a rotation. It is a transformation that turns every point of a free image through a specified degree and direction about a point. And so what I mean by direction is if we're going to go clockwise or counterclockwise. So think about clockwise is going in the direction of a clock, and counterclockwise is going the other direction. Okay? When we rotate around a point here, we're going to rotate usually around the origin. In the degree, I'm going to give you varying levels of degrees, but we're mainly going to focus on multiples of 90. So moving through each quadrant is 90 degrees. So for example, if I had this one, coordinate plane, and I had a point somewhere here, moving this way would be 90 degrees to this quadrant, then this quadrant would be another 90 degrees, which in total would be 180 from the original. And then going from this quadrant to this quadrant would be another 90 degrees, which would be 270. And then if you rotate it 4 times to the 4 quadrants, you get back to 360. Alright, so let's start with problem 1. It says quadrilateral ABCD has vertices of A at -2, -1, B at -5, 1, C at -4, 5, and D at -1, 2. If quadrilateral ABCD is rotated 90 degrees clockwise about the origin, what are the coordinates of C prime? So we know we want to go clockwise, we're going in the direction of the clock, so we need to rotate that way. And 90 degrees will put us in, we have to move to the next quadrant. So, point C currently is in quadrant 2, and we know we're going to go 90 degrees clockwise, we're going to end up over here in quadrant 1. So then we know the coordinates of that point have to be positive, positive, okay? So, this is there are a lot of rules to kind of memorize for the rotation rules, but I think we can do something a little easier. So I kind of just sketch a coordinate plane, and I know C is at -4, +5. So that's over here at -4, +5. Now when I like to rotate, I like to just go through in each quadrant, and every time I move a quadrant, I flip the order of the numbers. So I went to 5, 4, then I'm going to flip back to 4 first, then 5, and then I'm going to flip back again to 5, 4. Okay? So that would be rotating this initial point. Now you know where we started, the coordinates were a negative and a positive, and over here is a positive and a positive, and over here in this quadrant is a positive and a negative, and here would be a negative and a negative. So now once we flip the values in each quadrant, we just put the appropriate sign. So here they have to be positive, positive, so this would be 5, 4. In this quadrant, they have to be positive, negative, so the coordinate is going to be 4, -5 if it rotated to quadrant 4. And over here, in quadrant 3, it has to be negative, negative, so the 2 coordinates would have to be negative. So now in this case, if we know we had to rotate C 90 degrees clockwise, we're going to end up in quadrant 1, so C is going to end up at 5, 4. So we go here and plot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where C prime would be located if I rotated that quadrilateral 90 degrees clockwise. Okay? And that should make sense because it looks like this figure turned, and that's where the location would be for C. Now you could do this for all the other points in this figure. Alright, let's try example 2. In example 2, you have a quadrilateral with vertices at negative 3, 3, 3, 5, 4, 0, and 2, negative 3. If quadrilateral ABCD is rotated 180 degrees counterclockwise about the origin, what are the coordinates of the image of A? So that means we need to take A in this pre-image and figure out what the image is. We want to go counterclockwise, so remember we're going the opposite way of the clock. And we want to go 180 degrees. So 180 degrees means we have to move 2 quadrants. So if A is right here, already listed, we're in quadrant 2, and we want to move counterclockwise, so we're going to go this way. So we're going to end here, and then we're going to end here. So we know the point we're looking for is going to be over in quadrant 4. So again, I'm going to start it just by making a coordinate plane, and I know A, the coordinates of A were negative 3, 3, so I started here. And now remember, to move it through all the rest of the points, all I do is change the order. So we got 3 and a 3, 3, and in this case it becomes kind of easy because it's all 3s. And now we just concentrate on the signs for that quadrant. So this one is going to be a positive, positive. This quadrant is going to be positive, negative. And this quadrant is going to be negative, negative. So here, because this is where we need to be, in quadrant 4, this should be at 3, negative 3. Quadrant 3's coordinates would be negative 3, 3, negative 3, and quadrant 1 would be positive 3, 3. So now, graph it to make sense of it, because we know this had to move 180 degrees. We have to be here at 3, negative 3, so we can go ahead and plot that point. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So right here would be the coordinate of A prime. And then you can go ahead and do this for all the other points so you can see how the entire picture rotates. And example 3. We have another quadrilateral. They gave us the coordinates for all the vertices. And it says quadrilateral ABCD is rotated 270 degrees clockwise. So we're going to go in the direction of the clock. And we got 270 degrees, so we know we have to move 3 quadrants. And we want to know what are the coordinates of B prime. So again, we started here in quadrant 2, and we need to move 3 quadrants clockwise. So we go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to end up here in quadrant 3, where our coordinates are going to be negative, negative. Okay? So again, I'm just going to start with my little makeshift coordinate plane, and I know that B is at negative 5, 4. That's our original. And now for each quadrant move, I'm just going to flip the order of the numbers. So I flipped, I'm going to flip again, and I'm going to flip again. Okay? So in this quadrant, in quadrant 1, it should be positive, positive. So it's 4, 5. In quadrant 4, it should be a positive, negative. So that's there. And in quadrant 3, which we're looking for, should be a negative, negative. So that point that we're looking for to rotate B 270 degrees will be at negative 4, negative 5. And then we can go ahead and plot that on the graph. Which would be right here. And that would be where B prime is when it's rotated 270 degrees. Alright, so our last problem is we need to rotate the entire quadrilateral. So that means we're going to do all 4 points. And we're going to do the same thing, we're just going to do it 4 times. So, first of all, let's move A. Okay, so point A has the coordinates of 0, 1. So A is at 0, 1. And we know it's not really in a quadrant. Right? It's on the quadrant. But we're still going to do same thing. We're going to flip them. It's going to be here, so we moved it here. And then it would move here, and then it would move here. Still flip the order. So on this one, where we started at 0, 1, we're going to flip the order. 1, 0. This will be a 0, 1. And this would be a 1, 0. And we're just going to put the appropriate sign. So here would be a 1, 0. So it's positive. Write that again, that's not showing that. Here will be a 0, 1, but here the 1 has to be negative. And then over here, it would be a negative, negative. So you have negative 1, 0, because you can't have 0 as a negative number. And so if we want to rotate 180 degrees, well, which direction? Well, remember 180 degrees is just 2 quadrants. And when you move 2 quadrants, it doesn't really matter direction because you're going to end up at the same spot. So if I had to move this twice in either direction, you would end up at 1, 2. So A prime would be at 0, negative 1. Okay, so that's rotating it. A prime. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing for point B. Okay, and so B is at 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 3, 4? So we know that's in quadrant 1. So we start here at 3, 4, and we flip. And then we flip again. And then we flip again.
Good morning, pardon the interruption.
So now we worry about our signs. Alright, let's do this one again. Because we didn't start in quadrant. Right, quadrant. Let's just get it started here in quadrant 1. And then we flip. We flip again. And then we flip again. So this is where we started. Here we need to be a positive, negative. Over here we need to be a negative, negative. And over here we need to be a negative, positive. And so we needed to move 180 degrees. We moved once, twice. So our new point should be at negative 3, negative 4. So we go negative 3, negative 4, plot our point. And that's where B prime would be. Then let's do C. And so C, the coordinates are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And again, that's in quadrant 1. Over here at 6, 1. And that's where we started. So right and flip it again, flip it again. And now put your appropriate sign. So this was 6, 1. So this down here should be a positive, negative. Over here should be a negative, negative. And over here should be a negative, positive. So there are your order pairs. And so we have to take 6, 1 and go to coordinate quadrant. We should be at negative 6, negative 1. And so right here should be C prime. And then we're going to do it one more time for B. B is at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, so at 3, negative 2, which is in quadrant 4. And so We switch the numbers, switch the numbers again, switch the numbers again. And now in doing that, let's get our appropriate sign. So we need, in this quadrant, it needs to be negative, negative. In this quadrant, it needs to be positive, negative. And this quadrant needs to be negative, negative. And then if we start it here, and we need to move 180 degrees, we're going to do twice. So we should end up in quadrant 2 at 3, negative 2. Sorry, did that backwards. Negative 3, positive 2. And there should be the coordinates of D prime. And then if we connect all 4 points, we have now rotated our figure 180 degrees about the origin. All right, and that's the end.